As someone who is in an interracial mixed couple relationship, I'm Vietnamese, he's German, I have heard quite many stereotypes about us. Some of them are funny, some of them are just rude, and some of them are partly accurate. So in this video, I would like to go through them with you guys, giving you guys my opinion to help debunk it. Let's go! So the first and most popular assumption that I have heard is that she's just with him for the money. Since I'm Vietnamese, my country is still developing. Obviously, it is poorer than many countries in the world. And he is this golden white German man coming from a rich and developed country. People assume that he is way richer than me, and that's why I was interested in him. This is a very funny thing to say because per my experience observing mixed couple in Germany, the German and Vietnamese one, normally the Vietnamese one is the richer one. And I'm gonna tell you why. In Germany, obviously there is still a gap between the rich and the poor, but I think the government did a good job to shorten the gap like this. But in Vietnam, sadly, we are still having a big gap between these classes. So if you are rich in Vietnam and you have money, you have even more chances to make more and more money. So although we don't have that many rich people in Vietnam, once they are rich, they are very rich. And what do you think the rich people do with their kids in Vietnam? They send them to study abroad overseas. So I would say if a Vietnamese family can afford to send their kids to a Western country to study, they do have money. And normally they have more money than an average German family. It's not that accurate for Vietnamese students in Germany, since studying in Germany costs very little. So many upper middle class families in Vietnam could afford that already. But like for Vietnamese students who are studying in Australia, America, the UK, they are rich, you guys. Otherwise, how can they pay like 40,000 euros per month for doing that? Bottom line is that if you started dating a Vietnamese student over here, do not worry, they are not after your money. Chances are very high that they are way richer than you. For my case, it was a bit different. German boyfriend met me in Vietnam. I could not afford studying abroad because my family didn't have money. We were not even middle class at that time. We are doing better now. It is true that by the time we met, German boyfriend had way more money than me. I was a student and he already started to work in Germany and earn euro. And the thing is, whenever we travel around Vietnam, many people assume that he is rich because he looked Caucasian and he's from Germany. But the moment he went back to Germany with his money, he's just an average person. Like, he wouldn't suffer in Germany, he would still enjoy his life with his salary, but he's not rich compared to like German standard. When I moved to Germany, I've learned that many people live like that in Germany. They have an average salary and they could pay for their needs like housing, food, and they could travel, they could have fun, and they have like a fulfilled life, but they don't have mountains of money like what we are thinking about them. They're just like average people living a kind of enough life over here. During the time living in Germany, I barely met upper class people who is living luxurious lifestyle, maybe because of my social class here as well. Still, in Vietnam, my social class is even lower, and yet I met so many wealthy people. So in stereotypical term, it's not that easy to stumble upon someone with gold to dig in Germany. Actually, you can dig more gold in Vietnam if you want. German men in general always expect their partner to be equal, aka splitting the bills in almost every situation. It is kind of right for us, you guys. And honestly, as a Vietnamese, I was really shocked at first. Listen, German boyfriend is not a cold-blooded animal. He's super sweet, you guys saw the video. So when we first met, I was earning pennies in Vietnam dong as well. He was earning euros in Germany, so obviously he earned like 10 times more than me. So he didn't ask me to split the bill in half because our income is like wildly different. That's why at the beginning, it wasn't true for us. He never asked me to split the bill in half. Even until now, he doesn't like to keep track of the money or being precise, such as you pay that, I pay this. He finds it unromantic. Also, during my first year living in Germany, I did not work, so German boyfriend paid for everything in the house. He did not complain once, he was super happy doing that, and he provided me a very nice life in Germany. So I truly believe that if I earn less than him, like continuously, he would never ask me to split the bill half-half. But when I started to work, make my own money and contributing to the bills, he was very happy. Because simply, I don't believe that German boyfriend is the kind of man who thinks that he has to provide just because he's a man. Like many German men over here, they believe that if their partner is earning the same money like them, like why should they pay more than their partner? Like everybody should be equal and put in the money, which I kind of agree. Unless if there is a child involved, then it's tricky because normally the woman have to sacrifice a lot. But for double income, no kids family like us, there's not much of a imbalance in sacrifice between both of us. So it was okay for we to share the bill. So if you're searching for a traditional man who want to be the main provider for their family and for their partner, which is fine, everybody wants different things. I just don't think that German man will fit the description because I think most of them would want to have an equal partner who contributing to the house as well. Next one, she's just with him for the visa. First off, I must say that living in Germany with a spouse visa could be way less stressful compared to a student visa or a work visa. There is way less restrictions when it comes to working and also way less requirement with money and other things. So it is actually very cool. Before I moved to Germany, we had a lot of discussions about how to get me here. And I was very clear from the start that I want to study here, my master's degree, while living with German boyfriend to figure our relationship out. And there was also discussions that if the student visa doesn't work out, we can get married to each other. I get a spouse visa, I come to Germany, live with him while figuring out the next step. Honestly, I wasn't a fan of the idea because a student visa is depending on your study, a work visa is depending on your work, but a spouse visa is depending on your partner. And I just don't want to put my future into someone's hand like that. Also, although I love German boyfriend, I just didn't want to marry him at that time yet. I want to move in with him, live together for a while to see how we are doing as a couple. I want to see how he's dealing with me moving into his country, how he's supporting me. Would it make or break our relationship? And if we got a spouse visa and we got a divorce, I have to pack my stuff and leave the country. And that's not what I want. That is why I was very determined to get the student visa because I want to have my destiny on my own hand. And if something ever happened between me and German boyfriend, it's gonna be devastating, but it's not gonna destroy my life. That was my thought process. Just want to share with you guys so that you would understand that the spouse visa, although it is easier to get at the beginning, I don't think it is better or worse compared to other kind of visa. Next one, I want to be with a German man because I just don't like Vietnamese men. I don't like to date my own people. This is something that I read on the comment section on TikTok, which is super weird because I never heard anyone say that to me in real life. It was just shocking to read. And somehow it became kind of a popular stereotype for people on the internet to say, do I think my boyfriend is better than all of the potential Vietnamese men and German men that I could date? Yes, otherwise why should I be with him? Just because I had a foreign partner doesn't mean that I hate all of the men in my country. I met enough nice men in Vietnam, also the not so nice ones as well, like everywhere else in the world. And I briefly dated one of them. He was really nice, he was okay. We were just not fitting with each other the way me and my current partners are fitting with each other. I chose German boyfriend as a partner because he is a wonderful person. I didn't really consider his race or nationality. If anything, after we became a couple, I was thinking to myself, since he's not Vietnamese, this is going to be a problem because he's not living over here. In long term, we will not establish a life that I could be close to my family. So if I get a Vietnamese partner, I could be with my family and we could like raise our whole family over there. It could be way much more convenient, honestly. Another stereotype that is quite similar to that one is that he chose me because he has yellow fever. Sometimes people say that to us online because they think they are progressive, like they are anti-Western men taking advantage of Asian women. But honestly, they just sound very dumb. If you don't know what is a yellow fever, it means when someone, mostly men, has this like fetish of Asian woman, or like they sexualizing them to the point that they want to be with them because of their like imagination of like what a Asian woman would be like, things like that. The thing is, you cannot just see a Western man and an Asian woman together and assume that he is like fetishizing her. That is crazy to say, okay? You don't know anything about that person. You shouldn't start judging like that. I always feel so mad whenever I read that under my comment section because, first of all, I never feel like German boyfriend wants to be with me because I'm an Asian. Also, it stripped out all of my personality and humanity, and basically they just group me as a, oh, you're Asian, that's why he's with you. What the hell? I think that term is being overused nowadays. And honestly, if you don't see like a troublesome behavior pattern or like a problematic behavior from that person, maybe don't call them that just because they are with an Asian woman. The next one is he's being with me because he couldn't find any woman in Germany, so he come to Southeast Asia to find like a traditional wife. As a Southeast Asian woman, I have to say that that is the case for quite many people. I have saw several of them with my own eyes. When I was traveling around Southeast Asia, I saw enough middle-aged to a Western man with their crazily young Southeast Asian partner. Some of the relationship must be genuine, some of them is just purely transactional. My point is the stereotype. That one is sometimes true, and I understand why it existed. Okay, now back to us. So when German boyfriend visited Vietnam, he didn't even plan to find a partner over there. He just wanted to be a backpacker and see the world. And suddenly he met me there. So it was just a coincidence. And about the traditional value that many people mention, as I am a Vietnamese woman. First of all, even though I cook a lot, German boyfriend doesn't eat Vietnamese food that often. Most of the things I cook, he doesn't like it so much. And I don't cook for him for German food because I don't eat his German food as well. So he still have to cook and clean and do most of the stuff. And I think in general, not just German boyfriend, but most of the men over here, they are quite progressive with that. Like they don't really expect their partner, like their woman partner, to share most of the housework. Also, he is the most gentle soul that I have never met. Nobody, even in Vietnam, Germany, ever treat me with that much respect and that much gentle and kindness. So he doesn't like trying to oppress me because I'm a Vietnamese woman and I don't know how to express myself and things like that. So yeah, that was not an accurate stereotype for our case at all. Next one, he's a German, so he must be pretty cold and unemotional in a relationship. I understand where the stereotype comes from because Germans, when they are in public, they are not the most expressive when it comes to emotion. They have a pretty cold face, they don't smile that much. So I don't spend a lot of private time with many German. So I couldn't say that for many people. But German boyfriend is a different person when he's in private with me. He's like a silly little puppy. I don't know. He's like so cute, so emotional, and so, I don't know, super fun to be with. But you only can see that when just like privately with me. So I must say for us, the stereotype, it is not entirely true. But I have to mention that I don't think German boyfriend is like a very stereotypical man you could meet in Germany. He is crazily in touch with his emotion. He is crazily empathetic. He cares a lot about other people. And I met many German men, and although they are wonderful, I have never met anyone like German boyfriend. So he's like a unicorn, you guys. Language barriers will make the relationship difficult. This is not true at all for us, not true at all. But I was working at an English center in Vietnam, and I saw many women going there to study English because they want to talk to their foreign partner. And sometimes their foreign partner come there to sign up for them for the classes. And I see it was a struggle for them to communicate. They couldn't talk with each other. They have to use Google Translate and stuff like that. And I keep thinking to myself, if they have a fight, how are they going to deal with that? So I understand that it's going to be a big barrier for sure if you don't talk the same language. And if you don't communicate with each other, it will not work out for sure. That is my relationship advice and motto. You have to communicate literally everything with each other so that everybody is in the same page. I tell German boyfriend everything. The bad thought, the good thought, the embarrassing thought, he knew everything. And I think that's how our relationship is doing well, because we don't keep any secret from each other. Now it comes to the language part. It is not true for us because we both can speak English. And I think I mentioned that once already, that I can express myself better in English than in Vietnamese. Before I learned English, I was pretty young and I was living in Vietnam and nobody teach me how to express myself properly. At the moment I started learning English, I started to learn how to express myself and fight for my opinion in English with my foreign friends. And now I don't know how to use the correct word in Vietnamese to fight for myself in that term. So actually it was working really well with us for English. I have never had any problems with understanding him. I never for one think that we have a language barrier that would cause our relationship any problem. The family dynamic and disapproval will always create problem for the mixed couple. Whoa. Is the enemy family problem when we started our relationship? Yes. Who was the one who started the problem? It was my family, not his family. His family was supportive, accepting immediately. They heard that he has a partner and they immediately was like, I don't care who she is, come here, let me give you a hug. Even the language barrier, the cultural barrier was not even a problem for them. My family was taking a bit more time to deal with that fact, honestly. They was always assumed that I will end up with someone in Vietnam, hopefully nearby, so that they will always be together with us anyway. So when I said that I have a foreign partner and I want to move in with him in Germany, that was a lot of shock for them. And they didn't try to forbid me or something, but they were really struggling to accept the fact that I'm gonna bring in a foreign partner who's gonna take me away. At the beginning, we hid our relationship from my family for years and years until I moved to Germany, and it was really hard for me. And even when I bring German boyfriend back home, they loved him, but they took such a long time to warm up to him because different culture and stuff like that, they don't know how to deal with foreigners. So definitely our family was creating some problem there at the beginning. But after a while, all of that is just gone away. Because honestly, I feel like life is not that complicated as people made it out to be. At the end of the day, it's your life and your parents can just control you to a certain extent. And normally they would let you live your life and they wouldn't make so much trouble when they see that you are a grown-up. And that's how my parents deal with that. It's not that much of a dramatic situation. The relationship won't last because of cultural differences and also because of the long distance, because long distance sucks and man sucks. That's not what I said. That's what a lot of my colleagues say to me at the beginning when they heard that I have a long distance German partner. They will always assume that while I'm in Vietnam, my partner is definitely cheating on me left and right. There is no way he's just being faithful for 3 years and not going around partying with other women. Let's start with the first thing. Is long distance sucks? Yes. If I have to do it again, would I do it? Yes, with a lot of tears, but okay. The reason is because after 3 years, we made it. Although we sacrificed a lot and it was pretty painful, it was worth it at the end. All I need to do is covering my ears and not listening to other people. And chose a good partner to do that thing with because, yeah, I could understand why is it tricky. And the next thing is obviously way more difficult to navigate and understand why does it break so many mixed couple relationship. When me and German boyfriend met, we had very different sets of value, core value. I used to believe at that time, a woman should just support their husband, shouldn't express their opinion. He mainly could provide for me, and if you have a conflict, do not even address it, just hope that it's gonna go away somehow. And he's, as a German, as I explained from the beginning, was the opposite of that. And luckily, after a while, we compromise and change a lot. And by change, I mean I change a lot. I has catch up with his value, and then at the end we kind of have the same value. But I chose to do it because I just like his value better. It teach me how to be more outspoken, more confident. It make me believe that woman could do anything that a man can do as well. So why not accept that? For German boyfriend, he changed a bit about family values, that he understands now that there are sacrifices that a person would willing to make for his family. And he became a bit more chill with like time, for example. He's not like going back crazy if we are late on something anymore. He become more spontaneous and things like that. But it took time and it took a lot of communication and work between us. So yeah, it worked out somehow, but it took a lot of work. So I understand why it's tricky as well. Your German partner doesn't value family as much as you do because you're Vietnamese, so that would cause problem. So I will say this. German boyfriend doesn't feel like he owns his family as much as I feel like I owns my family. First of all, over here, when the family raise a child, most of the time they don't expect much from the children. They just hope that they become good people, become independent, and then hopefully when they grow up, they could be friends with them. And basically that's it. And German boyfriend was growing up pretty happily. In Germany, they have enough money to not struggle. For me, I was growing up in Vietnam, the family value is completely different. It's a very tight-knit cultural. Also, since we were growing up in poverty over there, I have seen too much. I saw my parents sacrifice too much for me just to give me a better life. I saw my mom not being able to eat like literally anything on the table just so that I can have like enough meat and vegetable and nutrient to grow up. And then they were just going to the farm all day long, but they never asked me to because they want me to stay at home and study instead of helping them with like growing crops and stuff to like feed the family. Like they did so much for me. So until now, for the rest of my life, I always feel like I own them, and I always have this kind of responsibility that I have to take care of them, which honestly I don't even think that it is that problematic like some people in the West make it out to be. The thing is, it doesn't mean that he loves his family more than I love my family. It's just different in the way we express it. Like for me, the length I would go for my family is sometimes too much for his boundary. Like he would say, I would never do what you did there. You did too much, and sometimes you should like take a step back and think of yourself first. But for me, it's just like, I would do everything for my family. And maybe that could be a bit of a problem, but in general, we are doing pretty well. And honestly, when I observe German boyfriend's family being together, they express more like affectionate behavior compared to my family. They hug each other. Sometimes they say they love each other. His father would like touch his hair and do this. My father never do that to me. I would love him to scratch my hair too. So it's just a different in perspective, I would say. And we are handling that pretty well. Vietnamese women are only interested in marriage, while Germans avoid long-term commitments. Ooh! I must say that I saw this scenario played out more than once for Vietnamese and European couple. I know people who break up because they were dating for a while, and the woman who is Vietnamese said that, okay, if you want to keep dating me, you want to keep being with me, you have to marry me because I am 30 years old, and in Vietnam it was like too late for getting married now. So my family said, if you are not marrying me, let me go so I can find a husband and get a baby quickly. And the other partner who is European would say like, it's too early for me, I'm not ready for that, which is both of them are valid in their own culture and their own way. So they break up, and it played out way more than you thought. Because once you date a Vietnamese, normally you should know that Vietnamese, like we do date for funsy and stuff as well, but like when we get to a certain age, normally around 25, pretty early, we are looking to date to get married. And we get married very quickly. The older we get, the faster we get married. My best friend got married to her husband after like 3 months of dating. They are still happy together. Many of the cases, when you reach my age, most of my friends are getting married like that in Vietnam. They get to know each other for like some months and bam, they get married. The next month they have a baby. So I wouldn't say that the stereotype is completely wrong in general, especially for German. They are not the type of people who are like super into marriage. I saw so many couples over here who are together for a long time and they are not even getting married with each other, simply because it doesn't bring any benefits except legal hassle if something happens. True, getting married in Germany is a very big legal commitment, honestly. And also, they don't even say the word I love you that easy. I still remember German boyfriend took forever to say I love you. By forever, I mean like 2 to 3 months. Because in Vietnam, we started dating, and very quickly after we kissed, we would say, I love you and stuff like that. Very easy. We commit pretty fast. But German, they take a lot of time to be together until they decided, okay, I want to be serious with you. For us, it was not the case because I didn't have the pressure to get married at that time. Since I already have 3 older sisters, 2 of them already married and have kids. So my parents was pretty busy with them. They were just letting me be and do whatever I want. And funny enough, for German boyfriend, it was the opposite because he was looking for the one. Like he was spending his whole life dreaming of finding his true love and then marry and have a family. So when we become a couple, he was just super focused on, okay, we are together, we're gonna have a family. So we never had like any fight about that. Even when we discussed the possibility of getting married before I go to Germany so I can have the visa to stay with him, he was super chill with that. He was like, yeah, we'll marry you anyway. It doesn't matter now or later. Another thing I would like to address is that sometimes I read comments that saying things like, oh, she sacrificed so much to go to Germany with him. She left her family, her friends, and her career behind to come here to start a new life just for him. And I want to go to the record and say that those are basically exchange for a better life. Like, I think many people in Vietnam would want to be in my situation, to be able to afford to go to a Western country, study, and have a new life over here. Without meeting German boyfriend, I could never do that. Since my family didn't have the money, I could only do that because German boyfriend was helping me for almost everything. So I truly feel grateful for that. And even with or without a partner over here, going to Germany, studying a master, having a job is still a pretty sweet deal. Many people would do that. And the very cool thing is that although I expressed my gratitude about that several times, German boyfriend was always like, oh, it's nothing. He was just happy to have me here. So yeah, it wasn't such a sad story like some people made it out to be. Okay, that was a lot of stereotypes that we went through today. If you have more, please let me know under the comment section. I'll try to debunk it. For now, I must go and drink some water. Have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.